full church, but also to be part of a worshiping community on such a gorgeous day as today. The humidity has gone out of the air, and it seems as though it's liberated our spirits as well. It's amazing, isn't it, how the interconnection is between ourselves and the way we feel about ourselves and about others, and the beauty of nature. It's great to have a great day and a great week, I think, to look forward to weather-wise. And I want to talk to you about the Gospel of Mark, which is full of breathtakingly good news, I think. Jesus is with his disciples, of course, all of whom are Jewish. Jesus himself being Jewish. And he goes up to a region north of where he normally meanders, a region called Tyre and Sidon, T-Y-R-E-R, and Sidon. And up there, it's kind of the cusp between the Palestinians, the people of Jewish origin, and those who are not Palestinians, perhaps Gentiles. People who know about the Jewish God, but who would not proclaim themselves to be Jewish. And while he's up there, he wants to, I think, make a retreat of sorts. But people pursue him, not the least of which is a woman to whom we owe a great debt of gratitude. In fact, one woman, who is the reason why we're here today. It's remarkable. We don't even know her name, her first name. All we know is that she was a Gentile, and that she was of Syro-Phoenician origin. Now, in Matthew's Gospel, the woman is referred to as a Canaanite woman, which means that she clearly was not Jewish. She was of another background. And it's to that one woman that we owe a debt of deep gratitude, because she came to Jesus and she called him the Son of David. And she said, "Would you please heal my daughter who has a demon?" It doesn't even say what kind of demon, whether it was a physical malady or a spiritual malady or a psychological malady or any other kind of malady, we don't know. All we know is that she had a demon of some sort in her daughter, and she wanted Jesus to heal that demon, to exorcise that demon. And Jesus says something to her that for almost all of us present today would have been a vast turnoff, an immediate turnoff. Jesus, the Son of God, clearly thinks that his mission is only at this point to the Jewish people. And so when she says to him that she wants her child to be healed, he says, "Let the children be fed first, for it is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs." Who are the children? The Jews. And this is a Syro-Phoenician woman. It's an insult to her. And it's an even additional insult when Jesus seems to infer in this sentence of his that the non-Jews were the dogs. Now, lest you forget, in the 21st century, we treat our dogs pretty well. In fact, I just had 3 corgis that died of old age, and I'm sure that when I die, I would like to come back as any one of those 3 corgis, because they enjoyed a standard of living that I pine for. Dogs had it better than most human beings today in America. But it wasn't that way in time Jesus lived. Dogs were seen as unclean, and if you know anything about Jewish purity laws, anything that was deemed unclean was anathema, was the worst thing that it could be, and it had to be kept out of one's life. If it was unclean, it had to be kept far away. And a dog was like that. And so what Jesus is doing when he says to this Syrophoenician woman, "It is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs," must have cut to the chase. I mean, she knew exactly how Jesus viewed her. And in spite of that, she has the guts, just the determination and the faith to keep at Jesus and to make Jesus recognize her as a human being. And her response is fabulous. I think it's spirit-inspired. Because she says, "Sir, even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs." Which is an acknowledgement, you see, that the children who are the Jewish people are not to be put down. That's an amazing thing that this woman saw, that her need to have her daughter healed did not negate the fact that there's something holy and sacred about the Jewish people. But she said, even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs, which is to say, look at me. Would you just look at me? Am I not a human being? And do I not hurt and bleed like everybody in the Israeli nation? Look at me, Jesus, please. And treat me like a human being as well. And here's the miracle that happens. This is the Son of God. And the Son of God listens. And changes his life. It's a turning point in human history. That the Son of God sees mission as being more than just to the Hebrew people. From that point forward, the mission of Jesus is defined in much broader terms. To incorporate all peoples. Listen when we celebrate the Holy Eucharist to the words of institution. Jesus is giving out the bread and the wine, the body and the blood, not just for the Jewish people anymore, but for the forgiveness of the sins of all. That one woman, probably less than stellar educated, has transformed history. And in no small way is the reason why we're here. And to think that God's vision can be expanded means that God so loves us all, that God desires to be in dialogue, that God desires to be in contact, God desires to be in relationship with us, and will listen to us as human beings. Whether we're Jewish or Gentile, Syrophoenician or Canaanite, or whatever else. That's the nature of the God that we worship. A God who is pliable and open to hearing the cries of the faithful, of the poor, of the oppressed, of the needy, of the forgotten. It's a great testimony whenever we think of God or religion as being inflexible, as being rigid. Just the opposite is true. If we can believe one thing about the Scriptures today, we can believe that God is open to the pleas of those who are in trouble. Almost desirous and waiting for miracles to occur. And all we need to do is respond and keep that dialogue open. Don't give up when you say God does not hear our prayer. Because God does hear our prayer. He heard the prayer of the Syrophoenician woman. Thank you. I'll stop here. It's a good time to stop and to have some baptisms, which is a celebration actually of new life. A celebration of the fact that there is hope for the future, and that we recognize that and incorporate it into the community of faith. So I urge you to stand now and turn in your bulletins to page 5.